So, I had discussed about the reason why the entertainment in Kenya is on a decline, or it has been on a decline for a while, and I had addressed the issue of the importance of the record label and why it plays a big role on why the Kenyan entertainment market is not stable yet, and why it is important to be in the system. But there's a reason why the record label in Kenya failed. There's a reason why it failed, the reason why it went under. Through the video, I said I blamed Ogopa partially for the failure of the record label business. In regards to a lot of artists in Ogopa started to complain that things are not making sense, so they left. It started a wave of people leaving the labels. Kali faced the same problem, and within that period, record labels dipped, and all artists were left out on the wild to cater for themselves. Now, I do not want to put a blame on on the artists on themselves in terms of the labels were right, they were doing the right thing. Yes, the labels are necessary. If we call them a vice, then they're a necessary vice in the system. Now, if they get it correctly, they can do it right. So I want to address where I feel the record labels in Kenya went wrong, and which brings this big question: did the labels steal from the artists? Now, my answer to that is yes, they did. There's a saying that I like to use most of the time, is ignorance is bliss. Now, most of these artists, one of the biggest problem they had was ignorance. Now, what you do not know doesn't hurt you, right? So they say. But then, it is the music business industry. You need to know the business side of music. Most artists do not take time to know the business side of music. So what happens? You get used by somebody who knows a little bit more about the music industry. Now, using Ogopa as a case study, Ogopa was run by Lucas, and I believe his brother. His name keeps I keep on missing the name of Lucas' partner, the one that they were running Ogopa with. But these were brilliant minds. Never met them before, never seen the guy, but I would really, really like to meet him and just to listen some of the stories he would have in regards to music business in general, because these were really brilliant people. Now, what happened was this. I believe it still happens till now. You're a talented kid, you're a talented person. They used to do this talent search. They find you're talented, bring you in, give you a contract, sign the contract. You get free recording session, free video shoots. In most times, they would even provide you with free transportation. They'll provide you with free accommodation, free housing. That entire process, everything. Your job is only one thing: make music. Now, in the music industry these days, there's a particular joke going around, the 360 deal, whereby you are given a deal, signed, but then every single revenue that you're going to make, you as a person, you as the artist, they're going to get a share from it. Because record labels, normally what they do is that they only get a share from the musical aspect of what you do. That is in regards to what contract you have with them. But they only get a share out of musical, anything music. Things that you're doing out of music, that's your business. The 360 deal gets a cut out of every single thing that you do. Your image, your endorsement, every single thing, they get a cut out of it. But then they need to invest heavily to ensure your brand is marketable. That is a new thing that has come, a new wave that in between, from around 2015, that is when the 360 deal started to pop up. But then I do believe back in the days, the Kida Ogopas and they were doing 360 deals on these guys. That I do know for sure. Because they were earning from every single aspect of these guys. If they get endorsements with Safaricom or Airtel or whoever, Ogopa would take a cut out of it. Performances, Ogopa would take a cut out of it. Mostly, some of the contracts with record label nowadays, you'd tell them my performances, that is my money. You don't get a cut out of that. Because that is it will only be run by me and my manager. But in those days, Ogopa, they get a cut out of almost every single aspect of revenue that you as the artist will generate. But then these guys still made good money. The industry was booming. That is why I was saying, like, at that time, the industry was so big that whatever cut you were getting was still something that could sustain you well enough. But then, when this artist grew and became bigger, what happened? They learned more things about the music industry. They now understood how the music industry works. They understood something called royalties. Now, I don't want to get into the intricacies on how royalties function. I believe I can do a much later video on that. But royalties, definitely, a song has two main royalty channels that it earns. First channel is songwriting and publishing. That is the composition of the song itself. The composition of the song itself. That is the lyrics, the way the song sounds, and the publishing of the song. What channels has it been put out through? That is the first piece of the royalty payment. Second piece is masters. So masters is now the song itself, that file of the song itself, the collection of now the composition of the song itself. So those recording files in studio, all of that, now that is the masters. Mostly masters is owned by the record label. Now, Ogopa owns the masters of the song. But then, on this publishing side, you as the songwriter must earn royalties from it. Whatever percentage, maybe producer takes 50, maybe this other one, maybe you had another artist that was featured in the song gets maybe a 25% or whatever. Whatever little percentage you have on that end, you should be able to earn it. Now, also on the master side, regarding with the contract, when you're signing that contract, what was your share? Is the record label taking 70% and giving you 30%? Is the record label taking 50% and giving you 50%? Is the record label taking 20% and giving you 80%? Do you have that knowledge or not? Now, what happened? I don't think this information, most of those artists had that information prior. So they later on realized royalties on these huge hit songs that I have been collected in a period of, let's say, 10 years, 8 years, 10 years. And I haven't seen a single shilling from that. Because the only way you realize that is that once the bookings, the shows that you're doing outside, they do not come as they used to come. You sit back and say, okay, this song that I used to make, is there any other revenue that is coming in through it? You realize, oh, after every 3 months, it's getting paid. Because royalties are paid, mostly there are those that pay twice a year, there are those that pay three times a year. So after every 4 months, there's some money coming in. Or every 6 months, there's some money coming in from that song. And you do not get a shilling out of it. What does it lead to? A revolt. So most guys were taking people to court for that. Nameless took Ted Josiah to court over his mega rider hits that he did in 2000 and so on. Took them to court. He managed to get back a piece of the royalties. Wahoo took Ogopa to court. Juakali took Caliph to court. So there were a lot of cases. These guys, after they became huge, that is when they learned about how the music industry works. Now, if only these music labels were honest enough from the beginning that this is how the music business works. This is where you can get your earnings from. And if I'm going to steal from you, let me steal from you out of your own knowledge. Like I will tell you, listen, you're a new artist. Right now, I do not know your potential yet. I am risking my money because I'm going to spend an upfront of 500,000 or $1 million, Bob, just on you, on the talent. So once you start earning, whatever we do and we ensure you get a hit from it, please accept that 30%. I'm going to take 70% of that revenue. Okay? Then you go, sit down, contemplate with your own self. Are you willing to be okay with the 20% of royalty you're going to get from it? Say yes. Then later on, once you become bigger, you can argue for yourself and say, no. Right now, you already know the potential I have as an artist. I now need 60% and you take 40%. But then if I just bring you in and I give you all these things and never tell you that I'm earning a single shilling from your song, then you realize later on, oh, you've made all these millions from my song and I had no knowledge of it, then definitely it will break the industry. So for sure, yes, these music labels had a major role they played in the decline of our music industry. Now, is the same still happening to this day? Yes. I do believe most of our big artists that we have in Kenya right now, not all of them have proper contracts or they understand the way things are going. Now, a good example that I can point out in this is Diana Codes. Do you remember the song that Diana Codes and AJ of Brooklyn Boys had that was taken down on YouTube? And the argument was the split sheet in regards to the royalty earnings. The management of AJ, the Brooklyn Boys, they claimed they're not comfortable with the percentage they're getting from RS. That is Big F. What is the name of his label? Yes, RS 66, the producer. The name of the label has just imenipotea kidogo. Now, with him, I don't believe that is the best contract out there for Diana. And not looking at it in a bad way or not looking at it in a way that I'm making it seem like RS is stealing from Diana. No. But Diana can get a much better contract than that. So maybe later on we can delve deep into such situations whereby we look at a contract or whatever a person is in and try and figure out if it's the best for them or not. That is a discussion that we can be able to also jump in. But that is just an example to show on how there's still not a proper structure in regards to how these artists are going to earn from these labels. And all this comes from lack of information. Most people do not have the right information in their hands in regards to the contracts, in regards to the split sheets in studio when they go to recording with the producer. All of this. We saw Red Sun beating up his producer over the masters. Producer had held on to the master saying, no, I was not paid for this. I'm not getting a share of this. Why should I give you these master recordings? So this is a problem that is happening in our industry. And it's something that I do believe we can find an understanding. It is doable. Again, this is something that we can correct and make our industry better. Cheers.